Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Cookiecast. Today on Cookiecast, it's the NFL podcast. This is it's like week 18, but it's the first week of the playoffs. There's no fantasy this week. Fantasy's done for the season. Obviously, I can keep asking you how you did in your fantasy league, but that's done for another year now. With it being no fantasy games, it's a slightly shorter podcast, but we've rounded it out with the usual stats and even a little quiz. So see how you guys do at home on the quiz. See if you can beat the winning score, which is a whopping score. See what's been going on in the NFL this week, and see what we think is going to be going on in the NFL next week. So here we go. This is technically week 18 of the NFL season. Playoffs week 1.
And let's turn yourself off. No, not.
Rolling.
That one's flashing. That one's flashing. See, no one's going to have seen that.
No.
That disappoints me.
No.
I was going to burst into song, but I love it.
Oh, Fred didn't see you walk in there. Everyone's favourite white guy who thinks he's black.
And they're rolling behind.
Hey?
He's white.
Everyone's favourite white guy who thinks he's black.
I was feigning shock that he is actually white.
Oh, sorry, I did not get that. Oh, bloody hell.
Hey-o!
Did you not see that?
No.
See what?
His rings.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Yeah. Things, yeah.
I was impressed how heavy they were. I'd probably break my fingers.
So last week I got halfway through and I was like, these rings are really quite heavy.
Really wish I had put these on.
Just reach up and put them back.
At least I didn't get stuck on the podcast.
Yeah. At least they got stuck before the podcast, and I realised that I shouldn't put them on certain fingers. Although my hands are cold, so I can do this. Right, it's podcast time. It's Cookiecast. It's the NFL podcast.
So, it's Yorkshire's...
Yorkshire's number 1 NFL podcast. It's the correct answer. Undisputed. I'm here. Your host.
My host.
Your host. I'm hosting you.
Specifically,
You were looking at
your
me.
host.
Yeah.
My glamorous co-host, Mr. Paul Williams.
League champion... Oh, no. Almost could not be further from the truth.
The closer to the league were upside down, I think.
Alright, cockhead, calm down. Less of that.
Benji did that, didn't he? Flipped it.
Look at this, I won!
Stats Mistress
Good evening.
is here. And two-time? Two-time.
Or as my significant other says, two's time.
Toots
time. It's Toots time. Two-time York League Fantasy Football Champion for 2018 and...
Brought
26.
brought some
50.
glory as well.
Does it actually spin as well?
Spins
Does
a
it?
lot.
Oh! Bling.
I wondered if it was designed
Oh,
for
yeah.
it. It wasn't supposed to spin, but I guess that's not.
Get that.
In all its glory.
God,
Matthew,
looks like it cost an absolute fortune.
It's legit.
Diamond plated. Real leather.
It was like WWE ink.
Oh yeah, I had no debates that it was the genuine article, but yeah.
I was actually going to get that Intercontinental belt out at left
Oh
as well,
my
and
God.
have like two belts.
You should have done. It's just on me. Stu listens, but he doesn't watch, so he's not going to get that
He's not gonna see
unless he
it.
watches. So Stu,
Get subscribed.
when you tune into this next week, take yourself off to YouTube and just have a little goosey gander. And then if you ever make it onto the podcast, which I'm sure you will at some point, you can bring the actual one of those that you own.
There you go.
Probably costs you a little bit more than what that one cost. Just gonna put
Secret Santa got me, so I'll never know.
It's a secret.
Who was? Do you actually know who your Secret Santa was?
Yeah.
Surely
So something's gone wrong with the system there. Something's gone seriously wrong with the system.
The fundamental part of the Secret Santa has been.
I think he's the only one that knows that we talk about wrestling.
That you're a secret.
I was going to say it was bought by a gentleman, not a lady caller.
No. Lady. We're waiting to hear whether there might be another guest,
a surprise guest,
who is currently in transit. So we'll see. If we hear the buzz, then we might have to check. So a little bit of a different format this week because
we have no full regular season games to cover.
No, there are no regular season games and no fantasy to cover.
No fantasy.
So really, we should just cover Matthew's fantasy season. Take us back to the draft, Matthew, and talk us through.
Just how many of the 90 seconds each round? Or was it 2 minutes?
I didn't think how bad this year. I remember at first year, like I couldn't get into draft for some reason, and then I ran auto.
To be fair, that just sounds incredibly like Col every single season.
Oh, what's happening? I've been kicked out. Why have I auto draft 2 players? What's going on?
Worked out well for him. He got to the bloody final. Cock.
Yeah.
And he fluked Mahomes. Tosser.
Yeah. Take us all the way back to the draft. Talk about. I mean, there are various different rumours, stories. We're not sure whether a lot of it's just joking and bluster, or whether it's. So let's talk about your scouts, because that's always the one that comes up.
I've got a few scouts out and about. Shout out to the York Bills, I'm a big Buffalo fans.
York Bills! Oh my God!
Is this a
it's
collection
worse
of
when he's
people?
doing it in person.
Is this a collection of people called Bill?
Just one person that works at our place of work.
Okay.
Oh my God! You've actually got insiders.
Of course I have.
You son of a bitch! Oh my God!
I don't go this alone. I've got a big
So
network
is there
at
a guy in-
Kaepernick's Nike. Yeah. Got a GM.
The Kaepernick's Nike franchise. Oh God!
GM Gizmo.
Oh bloody hell!
Yeah, Gizmo the dog's the GM.
To be fair,
There's a lot of
he
trades and
is.
stuff.
If you were going to appoint a GM, what's the way I'd go?
You'd appoint Gizmo, wouldn't you?
Not your Gizmo. If I appointed your Gizmo, I'd have to,
Lick his face.
die every day.
Go down and tickle his wounded belly if you want.
I'm certainly hoping that's not a euphemism for something.
He had an operation, didn't he?
Yeah, just a chuckle.
It was the look on your face. Sheer horror.
What?
I want that.
Who did you take first overall? I can't even
I
remember.
think it was Kamara.
Was he going that high?
Yeah.
I didn't know if he was a first or second rounder, to be honest with you. I mean, his production would indicate he was a first
I
rounder.
had him last year towards the end. So
It's a good pick, to be fair.
To be honest though, last season, I imagine he wasn't going that high in drafts because he was the backup to Mark Ingram, wasn't he? And then he just turned out to be awesome. So they just decided to go with the 2 backs.
I did the opposite. I went with Mark Ingram going.
Shock!
Ingram all the way.
What?
Pretty sure I issued
A season where Andrew has drafted Mark Ingram?
Pretty sure I issued a death warrant to anybody that picks up Ingram.
he's not retiring soon.
He's not even that old. He's only been in the league 5 seasons, I think.
Right.
5 glorious seasons.
He's a former Heisman winner.
He's to be honest, he was quiet this season.
Lost the first 4 games though, didn't he? He was suspended for, was it
Yeah.
3? He was
it was 4
suspended at the
games.
start of the season.
Yeah, 4 games. He was.
Him and Ellerman just sat there just noshing each other off.
Yep.
And then downtime. Classic.
So yeah, you went Kamara for first.
Yeah.
You probably picked up the.
Keenan Allen was second.
You should want the Jacksonville Jaguars deep. Oh no, sorry, that was somebody else. Somebody else in the league.
Did somebody take the Gronk quite early as well?
Rob will have.
Rob always takes
almost
Gronk.
definitely picked
Always.
Gronk up as his first pick.
Always. And then he always takes Greg Olsen as well. What's your game, Rob? What's your game?
Cam Newton as his quarterback.
Always. I know he's only been in the league 2 seasons, but always.
And on the basis, shouldn't mention it, but he's in a second league with us, and his team mirrors.
So he just basically tries to draft the exact same league, the exact same team.
Yeah, he loves certain players. I mean, we all do, don't we? Like, if I don't get X, I'll be good.
I mean, to be fair, did you do a second one with anybody else? You only do ours. No. So obviously, I'm in another league with a big group of my mates and stuff. And I must admit, I think every single season I've done both, I've had at least one player in both leagues. It's normally Doug Baldwin. And he was shit this season, so fuck you, Doug.
I think I had Adrian Peterson in both leagues. That seems to ring a bell. Which for some games was good, the ones he was on the bench.
Yeah.
So Matthew, when did you feel it was really your year? Again. Slag.
I don't know. I thought I had half a chance, I suppose.
I'm trying to think how...
I was up there, wasn't I?
So you finished 9-4? I think you and Tom...
three games, I think.
So did you...
14-3.
Because I thought you'd finish... I thought you and Tom had finished...
10-3.
I thought you and Tom had finished 9-4. And Col had finished 10-3.
Yeah. Me and Tom got the same amount of wins and Col got one more.
Yeah. And then James Forrester Gray just sneaking into the playoffs.
He does right. Well done.
I'd like to thank your good self as well for giving me Tarek Cohen as well. That helped a lot.
See, I don't even know what he's on about there. I literally have not got a clue what he's on about.
Tarek Cohen?
Did I do a trade with you?
No, you just dropped him and I picked him up.
Well, I didn't know about that!
And then I think he came back to bite you, didn't he? Cause,
probably.
This is the week you played.
Probably.
Howard's got a big fat donut and he's got about 20 odd points.
Oh no, that wasn't. We weren't playing against each other that week. That was just.
Might have been first week I picked
him up. I don't even know if that was maybe when the Bears were playing on Monday night, and I needed Howard to score like 5 to win that week, and he scored nothing, and all the points went to Tariq Cohen. And it was just like this can just fuck off.
It's the joys of fantasy, it's
basically.
Very much.
But we don't have to worry about that for another year.
No.
Yeah.
So we're a whole 8 months away from the regular season starting up again. I know the overall season hasn't finished yet.
And bear in mind that we're already counting down the months, and the season hasn't even finished yet. Well, for some teams it hasn't finished, for others.
Does that nicely bring us on to the first segment?
I mean, we can talk about, we can jump in to talk about it.
Do we want to do the same thing we did with me with my lost week? And sort of get what Matt would have picked, had he have picked from the games from Wildcard Week? Would you have picked all the 4 that won?
I don't know, you'd have to go through.
I don't think anyone would have picked.
First game on the list is Colts Texans.
I know you're wearing your... although you seem to have a second jumper on underneath that shirt. Just
no.
A little rug just peeking out. Just peeking out from the top. Hello.
I don't know, I'd have gone for that. We should do next year. We should do that NFL picking because I've done that.
Or just do just do something within the group where everyone has to put their selections in for the week.
Well, I mean, obviously off the back of the format that we've had this year, by the time we come round to doing it next year, it'll be a whole other ball game.
Oh!
Game with the ball.
But yeah, that's a good point. Obviously, with the podcast in mind, we've got a lot of things that we can garner towards the podcast in the fantasy season next season.
Yeah.
So we could even have it as an extra sort of.
If you'd have been here this time last week and you'd have been looking at the Colts versus the Texans,
I'd have probably done Texans.
See, I know. I think the Texans were. I'm sure that not by much, but I'm pretty sure they were the favourite in this.
And this is gonna sound one of them because I know how I've done in the predictions this week. But there was no doubt in my mind that the Colts were going to win that game.
I just don't. I don't see why.
Returning the Mac.
Oh Jesus!
I was just like, the Colts are going to win that. I couldn't have picked a score out. Certainly not the score it ended up being. But I was like, the Colts are going to win. The way they've been playing up till this point, the Colts are going to win. Matthew, Seahawks Cowboys.
Seahawks.
Over 2.
Chargers Ravens.
See, I thought that was the hardest one to call of the weekend. Because you had the Chargers, who had the best record in the league, or the joint best record in the league, and the Ravens defence, the best in the league.
Yeah.
So that was the toughest one to call for me.
I'd have probably gone Ravens.
Okay.
At least he's being honest.
And,
challenging my record for last week's prediction.
in the last game, Eagles Bears.
Right, if you say Eagles, I'm going to throw you out of this room.
I wanted the Bears to win, so yeah.
I find it really, really difficult to talk about this game.
I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but we all picked the Bears. I'm assuming probably about 80% of people picked the Bears. There's just this thing about the Eagles in the playoffs with Nick Foles.
Eagles, man. I mean, I was blowing the Eagles left, right, and centre a couple of weeks ago, literally because I was like, the Eagles plus Nick Foles are a different team. They are
a different animal.
They're a destroyer of worlds with that combination. But Eagles versus Bears, it's going to be the Bears, isn't it?
Should have been.
But we'll come on to that in a minute, because like I say, I find it quite difficult to talk about that game because it's just the play. In all honesty, the playoffs have taken a bit of a downturn for me.
See, you say that, but I don't think they have, because at the end of the day, you've still got the number 1 and the number 2 seed in for both conferences, which is always going to be the case because they get the bye. But I know, again, we're skipping ahead, but the Chargers versus the Patriots is very intriguing. Pats haven't lost at home all season. Chargers haven't lost outside of LA all season. Something's got to give.
Yeah, it's when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Something has to give. So, but I mean, when we get to predicting next week's games, I wonder which way I'm going to go on that one. Because, I've already picked the Super Bowl.
Just take your jersey off and chose your Pat shirt.
Wow. I could go get my Patriots shirt if you like.
You keep walking.
So, what is essentially week 18, but it's not, it's week 1 of the playoffs.
Wildcard weekend.
Wildcard weekend, boys. First game of the week was the Texans versus the Colts.
Big win for the Texans, yeah.
Big win for the Texans, obviously. It was not. The Colts won the game 21-7. I mean, I had a conversation. We had some people around at the weekend for football, which was fucking painful. I forgot what it was like to watch a game of football. I've been spoiled by the red zone. American adverts can suck the underside of my dick.
Wow. Although
it's a very specific, very specific slide.
a lot of cheap food adverts. We could not believe the price of American food.
I was talking about
£5 deals at
$5
yeah.
for food that you could not produce for $5. It's like, what's going on?
When we went to New York to the ice hockey, it was like $15 for a can of beer.
Wow.
Like a bud.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me. But yeah, it was the Taco Bell that you could get a burrito that was like this big for like $3. It's like, dude. So yeah, Colts beat the Texans. So Texans go out, Colts move on. 21-7. What I was coming to was we had people around, and one of the people in our other league is American. We were talking about the food adverts, talking about this, that, and the other. But one of the things that I was talking about was saying about you can't go through the entire season. You can't go through 17 weeks and play well enough to get to the playoffs and then deliver poor scores.
Have you never heard of the Cincinnati Bengals?
I've heard of them.
Just a quick one.
I've heard of them as well.
Have you got stats for later on?
Yes, a handful.
Because
about the Bengals.
No, they did not.
It's just because I was going to say about this game in the fact that, so I think they brought up a stat during the game that Deshaun Watson's the most sacked quarterback in the league this season. He's been sacked over 60 times. And that Andrew Luck, or the Colts, have given away 18 sacks all season. So that's just over one per game.
Yeah, it's like that is one of the stats, but it was something like 1.13 per game.
So there was, and there was a stretch in the middle of the season where they went from like week 5 to week 9 or something and didn't go over any. Yeah. So had I sort of thought about that at the time, I maybe would have picked the Colts, because it just seems that they're just not letting anybody get anywhere near Andrew Luck. So he's got all the time in the world to just set himself, assess the field, and just throw dimes.
We were talking about how like your pocket's a big part of the game in a lot of ways. We were talking about go back and watch the Ravens game. It's like, where's the pocket? It was non-existent, and the Chargers were everywhere. It was like, there's a reason you're losing this game. You're not protecting your quarterback, and Lamar Jackson was struggling. I personally feel they made some poor choices in that game, and one of them was putting a quarterback who was struggling back on the field in the second. Yeah, I know you're not a fan,
but it's not even about that. It's about the fact that the Chargers played the game absolutely perfectly, because they highlighted the fact that he's not very strong with the ball in his hand to throw. So they've said, well, we'll shut down all his running routes and make him throw the ball, because they know that he's not that strong in that aspect of the game, and they played it perfectly. So, and he fumbled it quite a lot. He lost a lot of possession and stuff like that. So he's just a perfectly played game by the Chargers. Really.
He's a new quarterback, and that's where your experience comes in. I'd have been saying to him, we're in the playoffs now. If you think you can't handle it at this point in time, we've got a quarterback who's seasoned.
Yeah.
So even if they alternated quarters or something, there should have been more thought put into it.
Was it that last play where he was about to throw it and it just got knocked out the back?
Yeah, that was someone just as he was ready to go forward, some guy just came through and went.
Yep. And then he kind of looked at his hand.
But it's always brilliant when they show it in slow mo, because obviously the quarterback doesn't know what's happening, because he's obviously coming from the blind side or something like that, and you just see him do that, and then all of a sudden it's just.
we passed comment. This is all completely random, but we passed comment on because you get the pictures of the players and stuff. The width of Lamar Miller's neck. Lamar Jackson's neck. And we were like, that picture's really weird. He's got a really wide neck. And we saw him being interviewed. He's like, that's not the picture. He's got a massive neck. His neck's like the size of his head.
I've always thought his head's quite square as well.
Yeah. And he's just got this like...
It starts really wide and then goes into his ears. And then his head kind of comes back out. Yeah.
You've got Lamar Jackson jersey.
To be fair to him, when he went in Louisville, he didn't play in any big games really, because they're not.
I was going to say they never got to a national championship.
No. So he's probably out of his depth.
But he won the Heisman, didn't he?
He did, but
he won the Heisman, played for a team that wasn't that good. So he's clearly a very talented player.
And that was the thing. To get up to the playoffs, he showed that. He demonstrated that up to the playoffs. You get to the playoffs. But at that point, I think that came down to a coaching decision rather than...
I don't know. I think
it was a gamble.
I think it's easy to say that. I think you have to give rather than say that the Ravens threw it away, I think you have to say that the Chargers just played the game absolutely perfectly.
Anything away from the Chargers. What I'm saying is, I'd like to have seen the game if they'd have made better choices, and that's what was said on the commentary. They were saying there's going to be a lot of questions asked of the coaching staff why they made the decisions they made.
And you got Flacco was there putting his helmet on.
He kept putting his helmet on.
So he was obviously expecting to go.
In a kind of weird way, though, this is the sort of thing where in 2 years' time, if the Ravens get to a Super Bowl, you can argue that he had to go through that.
The pain
to know what to do the next time he's there.
Oh, I imagine the Ravens next year, if they can keep the defence up, the Ravens next year will be contenders.
They need to add some weapons out wide.
Yeah.
But, Yeah.
I need to bring that pocket protection in. Cowboys Seahawks. This was. I'm not sure whether this was. Well, it wasn't the first game score. It wasn't the first game, but it was the first score I'd seen before seeing the game inadvertently, and was like, "What?" Cowboys played the Seahawks. The Cowboys beat the Seahawks.
So
24-22.
A lot of the scoring for the Seahawks was kind of dominated by the fact they didn't have a kicker for the entire second half. So Sebastian Janikowski, I don't know if it was the last play of the first, I was asleep when this was happening. So I don't know if it was the last play of the first half, but he tried to kick a field goal and he either twanged his hamstring or broke his hamstring. You can't break a muscle like that, but he did something to his hamstring and he couldn't kick for the rest of the game. So they had to go for 2-point conversions every time. Or they had to go and try and convert on fourth down every single time because they couldn't kick field goals.
Do they not have a backup kicker?
They've got the punter or the kickoff guy, but
obviously it's not his job.
He's not a place kicker. So and towards the end, they kept going back over to the sideline because the guy who was in as like the replacement kicker, I think it might have been the punter, I can't remember, but they just showed him practicing drop kicks. Because you can kick a field goal. You don't need it placed in front of you. You can kick a field goal out of your hands and just. So they just showed him practicing that, but obviously Pete Carroll just didn't trust him enough to say go out and kick as a field goal to win it or something like that. So they had to keep going for it. They had to keep going for it on fourth down to try and score touchdowns.
I mean, I don't want to take anything away from the Cowboys. The Cowboys made it to the playoffs and are moving on. Obviously, you've got them down for.
I said last week,
Super Bowl.
there's something weird about them that I want to see more.
After this round of the playoffs, I've made my Super Bowl prediction.
I see.
Because it's the way this has gone to this point. It's like, all right, well, so let's just pick the. We were saying about which is the Super Bowl that you would go. I think I'd rather go to bed. So that's what I've picked.
Cowboys Patriots.
I'll be going to bed. I'll be like, am I staying up to watch this? No, I'm not. I'm off.
You're having a laugh, mate. Zeke. Lovely.
I was saying, when you build a
Are you
team,
telling me you wouldn't love to stay up and just watch the Cowboys smash the Patriots? It'd be hilarious.
But would they?
though.
Like smash the
They
Patriots.
won't. They'll get absolutely demolished. They'll be spread across that field like margarine. It's a record-breaking Super Bowl.
Oh God!
Because the Cowboys were shut out and the Patriots got 65.
Oh dear! Oh dear!
So yeah, the Cowboys beat the Seahawks. Kind of sad to see the Seahawks go out because as the season was going on, they were at a point where it was like, well, the Seahawks aren't going to go to the playoffs. They're not going to go anywhere. They're just going to play and get through. And then all of a sudden, it was like, no, we're playing, we're doing it. I think it took them a little bit of time to dial it in and stuff. Obviously, Seahawks is one of my many teams that I sort of follow, and I just think it's just sad to see them go out. Great for the Cowboys. Good luck in their future games, but enjoy going to the Super Bowl. Spoilers. Ravens Chargers.
I was going to say
the Chargers.
I love it that we discussed the
last game first.
The Indianapolis Colts versus the Houston Texans. Colts won. Let's talk about the Ravens.
How about them Bears? No surprises here. The Chargers beat the Ravens 23-17. I think we've already stripped that.
We've basically covered that as much as we can, I suppose.
I haven't really commented on the predictions.
Well, we can
cover that at the end.
Yeah.
We can do it tomorrow.
We can just ignore them.
that'd be that. I'm happy to do that. And the last of the wild card round playoffs week one game was the Bears versus the Eagles.
Oh, fuck you, Philadelphia.
As I say, I find this a little bit difficult, especially for the way that it went.
That final.
Right. I'm annoyed by this because as it was coming down to the final kick of the game, literally, So Philadelphia iced the kicker. As soon as I saw that happen, and as soon as he kicked it, I said, "Why have you kicked it?" I know it's like, and then people say, "Oh, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to stop yourself halfway through the motion and stuff, and you always want to complete the motion." But I was just thinking to myself, he'll be in his own head now, because he's made the kick. He'll be like, "Right, well, I've made one there, so have I kind of like run out of my chances?" If that makes any sense. Like you only get in a game, you only get 5 kicks that are going to be spot on. So he used one up that wasn't for anything, and then obviously it came back that when they kicked it again, he hit the upright and hit the bar
And the crossbar.
and then it rolled out.
He
And
really,
it was like,
he really wanted to make sure that ball didn't.
it's just unbelievable. Like, just don't waste the kick.
I wonder if there's a stat out there of like how many kicks have been missed. You know, on like
Oh,
second
this
must be the worst season ever.
Single worst season for kickers. You've got kickers that are going out there losing the game,
But it's
getting
gonna
fired, and
you can see how the trend's going, and it's going to end up being that the Super Bowl is going to be settled by a missed field goal or a missed point after or something like that. It's going to go that way.
the Patriots will be 1 point up, and the Cowboys will miss the.
But after the game, or after the kick, they showed all of his missed kicks earlier in the season. I'm sure there was a game against the Vikings where he hit the upright four times in one game.
Yeah.
It's almost the sort of thing where that's not bad. That's incredible.
That's unacceptable. You couldn't do it if you tried.
You couldn't do
it if you tried.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't even say it's unacceptable. It's just the precision it must take to hit the post. It's just insane.
Yeah, because if you think about it, crossbar challenges
Got
all
all that empty space.
all that space. Well, my
It's
Sid, that's
ridiculous.
fucking 4 times.
Oh, man.
The Eagles did beat the Bears, which
St. Nick, innit?
St. Nick, Jesus man, 16-15, and that was that. So the teams that have gone out of the playoffs:
So R.I.P.
the Texans,
Rip.
the Seahawks,
Rip.
the Ravens,
Yeah,
and the Bears. Very surprised. I honestly very surprised.
I'd say they're probably the biggest shock of the weekend. I know the Texans were the 3rd seed, but there
the
was
teams
something about that game.
that have gone through are the Colts, the Cowboys, the Chargers, and the Eagles.
So how did we do on the predictions?
On the predictions then, so
I got 1.
Matt
That
and
was the first
myself, we didn't predict any correctly.
Did you get all 4 wrong?
All 4 wrong, yeah. You got 1 right in the Colts, and you got a grand total of 2. Cowboys and the Chargers. Well
How about
done.
them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? So
What does that set us up for next week in the
the
you want
divisional round?
Do you want me to go through the stats from last
Ooh!
week
Ooh!
Please do.
Yes.
before we move on?
Yes. Our special guest is stuck in traffic, so our special guest.
So these are not our standard sort of stats. They were specific about the upcoming wildcard games. So they were made before the games, but I've just edited them so they're more reflective.
Interesting.
So JJ Watt met Andrew Luck for the 9th time in their respective careers at Saturday's Texans-Colts wildcard game. Watt had racked up the 2nd most sacks in the NFL this season with 16, and has sacked Luck more than any other player in the NFL with 11 times. But Luck has stayed squeaky clean in 2018, taking only 1.13 sacks per game, which is the best in the NFL. And as we know, the Colts went on to win. Matt Nagy?
Oh no, not this game.
No, sorry. Has won the most games by a Bears head coach in his first season, and that's 12, in franchise history. Over the last 10 seasons, 8 of the 13 first-year head coaches to make the postseason lost in the wildcard round. Sadly, this was no different for the Bears this week. Phil Rivers has the most career completions, 4,518. Most pass yards, 54,656. Actually, sorry, that's not the most pass yards, just that many pass yards. And passing touchdowns of 374 of any quarterback to never make a Super Bowl appearance.
Just going to say, I'm sure I know the end of this stat.
Is this the season that all changes? Number 4. Nick Foles' late season heroics are reaching mythical proportions. Foles owns the highest postseason completion percentage at 71.9 and passer rating 113.2 among quarterbacks with 125 plus attempts in the Super Bowl era. He has posted a passer rating of 100 or higher in each of his first 4 career playoff starts. Only player in a Super Bowl era to do so. Oh, catch breath. Number 5. Seahawks had the number 1 rush offense in the NFL this season, while Ezekiel Elliott won the individual rushing title. Saturday's Seahawks-Cowboys game was the 3rd playoff game in the Super Bowl era to feature the number 1 rush offense versus the individual rushing leader from that season.
That's quite a cool stat.
In each of the first 2 instances, Hall of Fame running backs and individual rushing champions Earl Campbell in 1978 and Emmitt Smith led their teams to wins. That was the same outcome for that playoff game. Number 6, Lamar Jackson has been the ultimate 3rd down runner this season. Jackson, who has only started in 7 games, leads all NFL players in 3rd down carries and rushing yards. The only player to have more rushing first downs on 3rd down than Jackson was Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott. And number 7, this is the final one. Not only did Amari Cooper average the most receiving yards per game and score the most receiving touchdowns by a player after a mid-season team change since 1970, but he also led the Cowboys in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns this season, despite only playing 9 games with the team.
See, that as a stat is insane.
The only player to lead his team in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns while playing fewer games than Cooper was NFL Hall of Famer Terrell Owens, who led the Eagles in both during the 2005 season, despite playing only 7 games.
I mean, that just goes to show just how bad the Cowboys receivers were before he got there.
Could be a good pick for next year.
Amari Cooper, well, like in my other league, my brother wanted to draft him as his first overall pick, and I talked him out of that, and he was like, probably quite good I did that.
Where would it be for Cowboys?
Raiders. Because it's one of the 2 first round pick trades that the Raiders did to give them 3 for this upcoming draft. Because they traded him to the Cowboys for a first rounder, and they traded Khalil Mack to the Bears for a first rounder. So they're going to get 3 pretty good players, you'd imagine.
Possibly.
Or they could just get 3 Johnny Manziels. Who knows?
Right, let's talk divisional round. Divisional round.
Do you have the times that these games will be played, Andrew?
I do have the time. Right then, game 1 of the divisional round, which by weeks is like week 19 or whatever you want to call it. I had to keep naming the podcast by the weeks because of the format. I was like, week 18. Game 1, Saturday at 9:35
PM?
Not our time.
Not. Yeah, 9:35 PM.
Oh, okay.
Well, this is 9:35 AM, and it's a treat for all the family.
It's the Chiefs versus the Colts.
In Kansas City.
Yeah.
Whew.
Matthew, as you're the guest and 2-time league-winning champion, do you want to give us a pick on that one?
I'm going to go Colts.
Ooh!
Only because, like, when I saw Kansas, whatever game they played last, they didn't look that good.
Still
I mean,
won.
like Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. I don't know if they didn't play much, but
Tyreek Hill!
I don't know, they just didn't seem to click as well. So. And Eric Ebron's a beast for the Colts.
He has had an absolutely ridiculously good season. I don't know, there's this is another one of those ones that's just sort of, you could definitely see it going either way, which is a stupid thing to say because it's a game, so of course it could go either way. It's all dependent on whether the Chiefs can get to Andrew Luck,
Chiefs coming off a bye.
or if the Colts can stop them scoring. That's the battle.
Yeah.
Because the Chiefs' defense isn't that good, but the Chiefs' offense is that good that it's almost a case of if you're going to score 30, it doesn't matter to us. We're just going to go and score 31 anyway. So
It's a good game.
I'll go Chiefs very, very narrowly.
What, by a missed field goal?
Could be by a missed point after.
Chiefs, I think.
So this week I'm using a different structure for my picks. I'm going to go with the opposite of what I want. So I'm going to go with the Colts
Ooh.
on this one.
So
I agree. The Chiefs didn't look all that good the last time they were out.
yes, but so if you look at the stats for the last 5 seasons or something like that, the number 1 seed for both conferences has got at least to the conference championship every time apart from one, and that was the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But like I say, I'm going with because I'd like to
fair,
see the Chiefs go through.
the Colts have got the hot hand,
So I'm just going to go.
and
with the Colts.
as we discussed, if they can keep Andrew Luck clean, anything can happen.
Game 2 of the NFL divisional round, Sunday, 1:15
AM.
a.m. Rams, Cowboys. We'll send it back this way this time. Obviously,
sled.
I want the Rams to win, so put me down for the Cowboys. What do you reckon?
Rams, I believe.
So even though I said I had a sneaky feeling for the Cowboys, that was when I thought the Bears were going to win, because it would have had the Bears going to the Rams and the Cowboys going to the Saints. The Eagles beating the Bears has kind of scuppered all that for me. I don't fancy the Cowboys in LA, so I'll go for the Rams as well.
Okay.
Macho.
No doubt
Rams.
about it.
Rams.
So,
They've got as far as they can have Cowboys.
Game 3 of the NFL divisional round, Sunday, 6:05. The Patriots versus the Chargers. Paul Williams.
Pats have looked the weakest they've looked in a number of seasons.
Forever.
Chargers away from home look pretty dominant.
Yep.
Everything about it just says. I mean, like, you don't back against the Patriots in the
Ever.
playoffs,
Ever.
except for this week when you go for the Chargers.
I'm tempted to
Yeah, but you know the NFL.
go with that. Although I did put a bet on the other day for the Patriots to win the Super Bowl.
Is it a 10p bet?
No.
Was it 50?
So who are you going for?
Chargers.
Macho.
In hope.
How's Flash Gordon playing lately?
Melvin,
Yeah.
he went down injured on Sunday, but then he came
did?
back in
They did.
because he looked like he tweaked his knee. And he was out for a couple of plays, but then he was back in the second half, so he can't have done that much damage to it. He didn't score a touchdown. I don't think he scored a touchdown. I can't remember now. Maybe he did. I can't remember. On the report, he'll probably be down as questionable.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go with Patriots. I've been there and done it.
I mean, it's the sensible thing to pick. Isn't it?
So I want to see the Chargers beat the Patriots. We're down for the Patriots. We shall see, won't we?
I meant to
This
comment.
logic is flawless.
The final game.
Before you carry on, I just meant to comment on the Cowboys Rams that I saw that Todd Gurley's back for the Rams game this week.
Yeah, because he sat out the last 2 weeks of the
2
season,
weeks,
didn't
yeah.
he?
And then
obviously he's had the bye, so 3
3
weeks.
weeks. Fresh.
He'll be healthy. That'll be an interesting matchup to see who gets the most rushing yards.
Zeke versus Gurley.
Yeah.
The final game, Sunday, 9:40, is the Saints versus the Eagles.
I want to say Saints, but I'm actually going to say Eagles.
So are we going to say this is exactly the same as the Bears game for me? Everything about it says Saints, but there's something about that Eagles team in January that they obviously just really like. So put me down for the Saints, please. I just think in that stadium, the sound's going to be insane. It's going to be so noisy. They're not going to be able to focus as much as they need to, and the Saints are better on both sides of the ball than the Bears are. So
indoor.
That's an indoor.
Saints, yeah.
I've been in that
The
stadium.
Bears?
Wait.
Did you say the Bears?
Yeah, the Saints are better than the Bears.
So you think they'll beat the Eagles?
So I think they'll beat. They'll beat the Eagles because they're a better unit than the Bears were against the Eagles. Don't worry, I didn't just forget who was playing.
I thought I hadn't played the Eagles.
Matthew?
I'm gonna have to go with the Saints. I think.
Yeah, of course you are. Good lad.
No.
I want the Saints to win, so put me down for the Eagles.
Oh man.
So either you're going to win because all your teams will win,
So I'm going to get 4 out of 4 on that.
Or none.
or none, yeah.
And either way, I'm a winner, aren't I?
Because all the teams
All
that
the
you
teams
wanted
I
to
want to go through.
Oh, you've adopted the principle of always back against your team.
Yeah.
If you're betting,
Reverse psychology.
so that you
Yeah.
can't possibly lose because you either win your bet or you're happy because your team won.
I was advised at lunchtime today that I should put a bet for the Patriots to win the Super Bowl now, so that they go out this week. That kind of brings us to the end.
We can just double check. Does anybody want to revise their Super Bowl prediction?
Ooh. Has anyone picked anything that can't possibly happen?
No. So
So
you said Chiefs Saints, although you
So I will be revising mine.
changed that. You said Rams Chiefs.
Yeah, I'll stick with that.
I've said Patriots Saints.
Matthew, would you like
Do you
to
want to
pick
throw one in?
Could the Saints play the Colts?
Yeah. They're both NFC and AFC, or their respective conferences.
Yeah, I've got Saints Colts.
Interesting.
Can you put a line down there and then put Cowboys Patriots? Snooze, Bill.
I disagree totally on that one. I reckon that'd be actually quite a good one to watch.
You'd be rooting for the Cowboys all the way.
Just anybody that goes against the Patriots, I'll root for. So that's kind of like it.
Yeah.
We're done.
We have no more
everything.
segments to cover.
No more
It's really
segments.
difficult when there's no fantasy or anything like that. So,
I have a quiz.
you've got a quiz.
You've got your quiz.
Who's got your quiz?
Who has to?
How many questions are on the quiz?
There could be 20.
Could be.
Could
So I won't do
be, could be
mine.
less if you want less.
Is this a pull your phone out situation?
How do you want to capture responses? Do you want a piece of pen
Or
and
we just
paper?
shout them
multiple
out.
choice or
There is multiple choice. It might be easier just to capture them independently and then go through the answers rather than going round.
okay.
Would you prefer pen and paper, Matthew?
I'll make some notes.
Make some notes. Not answers, but
Oh
just...
shit.
I'm ready.
Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Shoot.
Okay, question number 1. Who has the most wins as head coach in the NFL? A. George Halas. B. Curly Lambeau. C. Tom Landry. D. Don Shula. Forgive any name pronunciation.
Okay, well I was definitely going to go for Bill Belichick, so that's nice.
I have checked and these are still up to date.
Can you give me those names again?
George Halas, Curly Lambeau, Tom Landry, Don Shula. A, B, C or D.
Okay.
Number 2. Which NFL team features a helmet decal only on one side of the helmet? A. Houston Texans. B. Jacksonville Jaguars. C. Pittsburgh Steelers. D. Tennessee Titans. Are you still in thought?
No, right.
Wait.
You cheater, you Charlie cheater!
It's not going to help you because you can only see
I can
one
only see
side.
one side of all of the helmets.
Number 3. Who is the last non-quarterback to win NFL MVP?
Right.
A. Sean Alexander. B. Ray Lewis. C. Adrian Peterson. D. LaDainian Tomlinson.
League MVP or Super Bowl MVP? League MVP. Yeah, it has to be league MVP because that's who won the Super Bowl that wasn't a quarterback. Just ignore me.
I'm just putting D because I don't know what the name was.
LaDainian Tomlinson. Just give us him again.
Sean Alexander. Ray Lewis. Adrian Peterson. LaDainian Tomlinson.
Oh my god.
This is from 2012, if that helps. So it's not like we're
League
talking.
MVP. Oh, the quiz is from 2012.
No, the year that this person won.
Okay.
Number 4. Which NFL quarterback, a 2010 Pro Bowler, never started a game at quarterback in college? A. Matt Schaub. B. Matt Cassell. C. Matt Moore. D. Matt Flynn. E. Matt Herlihy.
Oh! Help!
Gotta be
I think we know which one we'll go for.
This guy tossing pick sixes all over.
I'm happy to go with the wrong answer if it means
Number 5. Which of these teams was not an original NFL team, that moved over to the AFC? A. Browns. B. Colts. C. Raiders. D. Steelers.
What was the question again? Which?
You've been a bit naughty there.
Why?
Because you've just given the last name.
What?
Is there no more to those answers?
No.
Ooh, that's very naughty.
Why?
What was the question?
Because the
again?
Colts
Yeah.
haven't always been the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay. I don't even understand the question.
And technically the Browns disappeared for like 4 seasons.
obviously the Raiders changed then.
Yeah, the Raiders have changed.
The Las Vegas.
What was
Raiders.
The Las Vegas Panty Raiders, yeah, exactly.
Which of these teams was not an original NFL team that moved over to the AFC?
What was the order?
A. Browns. B. Colts. C. Raiders. D. Steelers.
Gonna have to go for that one.
6. Which state has produced more Pro Football Hall of Famers than any other state?
Good fucking God, woman.
A. California. B. Ohio. C. Pennsylvania. D. Texas. I haven't made this quiz.
Yeah, you have.
No, it was
Yeah, you did.
pre-established.
Yeah, you did. You dick.
7. Who is the only Super Bowl MVP to have played on the losing team? Larry Fitzgerald, Chuck Howley, Dan Marino, Steve McNair. 8. Emmitt Smith is the NFL's all-time leading rusher with 18,355 career yards. Who is second?
I knew you were going to say that, you...
Eric Dickerson, Curtis Martin, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders.
Right. Let's do this.
9. Which team was the only team not to have made the NFL playoffs this millennium prior to the 2017-18 season? A. Buffalo Bills. B. Cleveland Browns. C. Jacksonville Jaguars. D. Oakland Raiders. 10. Who holds the single-season record for touchdown receptions with 23? Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, Calvin Johnson, Terrell Owens. How many questions do you want to go to?
Well, that was 10.
That's 10.
We can always score the 10 if you want.
Do you want to do that?
Come on.
And number 1, who has the most wins as head coach in the NFL? Answer was Don Shula.
Was that C?
D. Sorry.
Oh, balls. Oh, I've given myself a tick and that is not correct.
I don't
Is
know.
that Tom Landry?
I don't know how to do all these tick things.
Look, Tom Landry's hat.
Tom Landry's hat.
Yeah, like in The Simpsons.
I don't know what words you say.
You've never heard of The Simpsons?
No, I haven't. Are you
Oh, that one doesn't fit.
I
on
can't
board?
believe it's not Tom Landry. That's absolutely disgraceful.
Number 2. Which NFL team features a helmet decal only on one side of helmet?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Correct.
Oh, I put that and then I changed.
Not bad. You silly man.
3. Who was the last non-quarterback to win NFL MVP? Answer is Adrian Peterson.
Balls.
Well,
That's not. Adapted. You.
I'm doing so well.
I think I put C and then changed it because I thought that C was Ray Lewis. Bastard.
Rookie mistake.
You.
Which NFL quarterback, a 2010 Pro Bowler, never started a game at quarterback in college?
Schaub?
Cassell.
Matt Castle.
B.
What?
B. I thought it
Can't
was,
say
I
that.
thought it was E.
E? That guy. That
2010
jerk.
Pro Bowler. Which of these teams was not an original NFL team that moved over to the AFC? The answer for
Colts?
this particular question was the Raiders.
Huh. Did not know.
Was that B?
No,
C,
that was
sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to say B was the Colts.
Which state has produced more Pro Football Hall of Famers than any other state? The answer was C, Pennsylvania.
Damn it!
So I went with a B because that's where it is.
I got one right.
I put Texas.
Big state. Makes sense.
Who was the only Super Bowl MVP to have played on the losing team?
B.
The answer is B, Chuck Howley.
The other ones are too old.
Boom.
The
I think too
MVP
new,
has
too
come
old,
from
too
the
old.
winning team every year except 1971 when Dallas Cowboys linebacker Chuck Howley won the award despite the Cowboys' loss in Super Bowl V to the Baltimore Colts. Yeah.
Yeah.
A. Emmitt Smith is the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Who is second? The
Sweetness.
answer- What?
Sweetness.
What's that?
Walter Payton.
Oh, yeah.
Was
C.
C.
C. Oh.
That was the... He played 1975 to 1987 and scored 16,726. Scored.
Scored.
You know
Scored every one of those yards.
Which team was the only team not to have made the NFL playoffs this millennium prior to the last season?
Bills, baby!
Answer is the Bills. A.
A.
After 17 seasons of waiting, the Bills ended the longest playoff drought in professional American sports.
Didn't some of their fans club together to do like a Just Giving sort of style page? And to get a present for Andy Dalton because they beat the Ravens in the last game of the season. It was hilarious.
They did. Number 10. Who holds the single season record for touchdown receptions with 23? The answer is A. Randy Moss.
Oh, balls. I went, it was either him or Tio.
That was
For the wrong
set
one!
in 2007 when he played for
2007, Randy Moss.
Bengals.
Patriots.
well done. No bonus points, I just thought.
Boom! Well, I could have done with it, bonus, but I only got 4.
Shit. I got 2.
Tree.
So you won with 4.
Autism wins again! Yes!
Autistic Superpowers go!
Woo! Thank you much, Leanne.
No, you won.
There we go.
Thank you, Matthew, for
Thank you, Matthew, for
taking time out of your
from,
busy schedule.
Come visit us. You'll have to come again.
I'm sure at some
Oh,
point
well.
we'll get you a trophy. If I can ever be
I
asked.
can show you my trophy if you like.
Unbelievable.
I can
This
show
guy.
you mine.
This girl.
Offers everywhere.
You've got a bloody belt there.
Yeah.
You don't even need a trophy.
Mine, unfortunately, was a wooden spoon. But
Oh.
Mine was a victory,
Full on trophy.
victory trophy.
What a slag. What a filthy whore!
Well, I'm waiting for my rings to turn up.
Oh, don't even start. I bet you have as well, haven't you? I bet you've commissioned yourself a ring. God, this guy.
It's like Shaq's Hall of Fame ring.
Oh,
that big, and it's like
dear
35 grand. Yeah, something like that.
Unbelievable.
There we go. That's us. Done.
Thank
Done
you.
and dusted. And a short one to. I say a short one. Definitely isn't. So there we go.
Thank you, Matthew, for coming. Thank you for doing
you.
the quiz and the stats. Thank you for attending.
Thank you.
And thank me for being me.
Thank you.
There we go. Bye-bye, people. Bye. Love you. Bye.
So there you go. What do you think to that? Week 18. First round of the playoffs done. Looking at the next round of the playoffs. Kind of feel sad for the Bears. But hey, them's the breaks, I guess. So yeah, join us next week for the next round of the playoffs. Heading on the road to the Super Bowl. For all you YouTube watchers and subscribers, click the bell. For anybody that's watching new on YouTube, subscribe. How about you leave us a comment? Everybody should be jumping over to the Cookiecast.com. Send us some social media love or even an email. So, yeah, do that. Until next week, where we're looking at more of the playoffs, I'll say goodbye, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.